Social media will be off-limit for Australians under 16. The law is set to come into effect in November 2025. Interesting, the Australian government based its decision partly on a study co-authored by this guy.
I'm like, oh, I see what's happened. They've completely misunderstood what we did and why we did it and how we did it, and they didn't bother to ask.
But more on the science behind it later. It's not just Australia thinking about bans. Governments worldwide are debating whether social media is just too harmful to kids' mental health. Does Australia's move mean goodbye social media? Platforms must enforce the social media ban for under 16-year-olds in Australia, or they will face fines of up to 50 million Australian dollars. That's around 30 million euros.
Platforms now have a social responsibility to ensure the safety of our kids is a priority for them.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat and X are likely on the list. YouTube might not be, because you don't need an account to use it. Not everybody thinks Australia's new law is a good idea.
This is a rubbish bill. It's a false sense of security.
So, what are the pros and cons of this kind of ban? Supporters say less or no social media helps to keep us healthy. There's less exposure to cyberbullying, social pressure or violent content. It frees up time for real-world activities. Less distraction might also lead to better performance in school. Critics argue a ban could isolate kids socially, especially minorities and those with mental health issues who find support online.
Being autistic, I have a really hard time connecting with others, and doing that online makes it a lot easier, a lot less stressful for me. Being online, you're able to connect with other people with the same interests, get experiences.
On top of that, it limits access to news and hinders the development of digital skills. Enforcing the ban is difficult but possible. Biometric checks and government ID verification are possible tools. But even those can be circumvented. Using a VPN, for example, can make it appear as if you're logging in from another country, avoiding the local ban altogether.
I feel like I still use it, like just secretly get in or something.
By the way, kids who find ways to break the rules will face no penalties. I think both sides have good arguments. But is there a clear answer from researchers? Kids and social media, a closed case? Well, there's no definite answer. Even though meta-studies analyzing hundreds of publications found a consistent correlation between social media usage and issues like mental health, body image or addiction, researchers often struggle to prove a direct causal link, like Andrew Przybylski, the researcher you saw in the beginning.
There could be a third thing that causes both decreases in life satisfaction and increases in social media use. So for example, leaving home or going through puberty.
Yet his 2022 study was used as part of the basis for Australia's law, suggesting there is a link.
Multiple people have misunderstood the research. They've left things out and they haven't bothered to check with the authors.
So where do we go from here? Some fear the ban will push kids towards unregulated parts of the internet, and that it'll even take away responsibility from the big platforms, because they can just say the kid was breaking the law when something bad happens. Yet a government survey found that 77% of Australians are backing the ban. In other countries, people might feel the same, even kids who would be directly affected.
I have a very close friend who went through cyber harassment. And with my friend's experience, I think the law implemented in Australia should be implemented in other countries of the world.
Other countries are watching closely. For example, Norway is considering a 15+ social media age limit.
It will certainly steer a debate also in Europe about how to increase the protection of children and youth on social media platforms. The European Union will closely monitor how this law will be implemented, how impactful it is.
What do you think? Is this the right move? Let us know.